Oh, hey, gang. It is the end of June. Please forgive me because I lost my voice yesterday. Wow, I sound horrible, but it is time for the July budget because, wow, this month's almost over. Quick and easy, probably the most boring videos I make just because my budget's pretty dang the same, but I did make a couple updates, so I'll fill you guys in as we go, of course. So let's jump over to the spreadsheet. As I say every month, here is my Google Sheets budget spreadsheet, and I love Google Sheets because I can edit it from anywhere. So before we jump into the numbers, just some notes for anyone who might be new here. Typical budget items that you're not going to see in my budget are car insurance and a cell phone bill because I pay those annually. Maybe car insurance is twice per year. I don't remember. Anyway, I budget for those in an annual expenses sinking fund, so I don't pay for them monthly. You guys know I have a very strong aversion to monthly bills, and it's generally cheaper to pay things on an annual basis if you can. That's also how I do my weightlifting program. I never talk about that, but it's all in the annual expenses budget. So just putting that out there, I do pay for those items. I just don't have them in my monthly budget. We always start at the top with income, and right now my highest income is from my W-2 job. So this amount here is take-home pay, so that's after my 401k has already been taken out. That's after medical insurance, dental, vision, and HSA contribution. I try to max that out every year as well. So my take-home goal for my W-2 job is $4,050. And that's pretty rock steady now that I don't have a crazy rotating shift, so I'm not getting shift differentials and overtime and all that. So it's pretty even keel now, which is just fine. My next biggest income is my rental property. I own one rental property in the Midwest. I'll leave it at that. My goal income for that every single month is $459.24. And as you can see from the calculation, I beat this horse to death. So, it's just rent minus property management minus the mortgage. The rest is cash flow. I save every penny of this. You definitely want to save some of your rental income, ballpark 10% for vacancy, 10% for repairs, things like that. I save 100% right now because I am working up on saving a down payment for rental property number 2, and I'm not needing this income to live on yet. My next income source is YouTube. I just have a goal of meeting the $100 payout threshold every month. It is summertime, so views have slowed down a lot. Advertising has slowed down a lot. I don't know if I'm going to hit that mark for June. We'll see. I don't know. Whatever. And support is direct support from you guys because you guys are amazing. And there are plenty of you that love to help people on their journeys, and I appreciate absolutely every one of you who have helped me on mine and continue to help me. So I have no goal there, but it just ends up, you guys are so gracious, so I usually end up getting some support. And as you can see from the notes, currently I am working on my fun sinking fund. It is the last sinking fund, therefore the least practical one. But for right now, any YouTube income and any support from you guys is going to that fund until that's complete. And then we'll switch gears after that. But for now, that's where it's going. Now, in the expenses category, rent is, of course, my biggest expense. And that is $15.25 a month. Electricity, I put $80 for July just because, like I mentioned, in Tuesday's video, that I did buy an air conditioner for my living room so I can work from home peacefully. So those will be running. It's hot as hell. I don't know, man, this El Nino, this is not budget related, but this El Nino, you guys, it's like rainy and muggy. I swear I moved to the tropics. It is brutal. So I'm very glad to have the air conditioners, even though they will make my electricity go up a little bit. It's okay. Internet's always $59.99. Mohila is my student loan service provider. I only have federal student loans left at this point, thank goodness, and they have been in forbearance, as you guys know. Payments should not be resuming in July. It's sounding more like August, but again, I haven't really heard any updates in the last couple weeks. So if you guys know of any updates, let me know. I don't watch the news because I'm not into that fear mongering bullshit, but I do like to keep up on pertinent events. But student loans, I just haven't looked into lately. But that should be a $0 payment. My gym membership's $15 a month. That is separate from my annual weightlifting program that I mentioned at the beginning. Netflix is always $19.99 a month. Groceries and food, I've had at $500 a month for a bit now. As we are wrapping up June, I may drop that going forward because I'm finding that my budget, or I think that the amount that I'm spending on groceries now that I'm not stress eating and going to the grocery store all the time. Now that I work from home, I'm much less. When you go to the grocery store less, you impulse buy less, right? So my budget, I think I'm doing pretty dang good for June. So I may adjust going forward, but I'll leave it at 500 for now, just because I haven't calculated June yet. So we'll see next week, right? Gas and car wash, I budget 150. I have been driving a lot. Just because now that I have a normal schedule and I can have a social life and I'm making friends and I'm just trying to see all the live music that I can. So I'm driving all over the place, filling up my cup of happiness. So I'll probably spend more than that, but I don't care. Happiness over everything else. Pet supplies, 25. I don't actually think I'll have to buy any in July because their Chewy box just arrived today, so they're pretty locked and loaded for a bit, but you never know. Invest, I bumped up that to $200 a month. I did put it at $100, but now that my emergency fund's cushioned and I'm just saving up for fun things, rental property, HVAC unit aside, I am pretty stocked on cash, so I am being less intense about my savings rate, and I do want to allocate more towards investing. So I'm upping that to 200. Once the fund is done, I will likely up that even more. You guys know I'm not a huge fan of retirement accounts. I always contribute to 401k up to my company match. It's just silly to not do that. But as far as beyond that, like my Roth, you guys know I plan on retiring all sorts of years before 65 because that's some shit right there, and I don't get down with that. So putting away money for myself to use at 60, you guys know, but I'll put some more in there just for peace of mind. I don't know, whatever. Donate. I always donate $50. Savings, 800. Again, like I said, I am being less gazelle intense with my savings rate. You guys know the last couple of years I've saved $1,000, $2,000 or more a month, and I'm just choking that back now that my income's a hell of a lot less, and I don't need to be saving that much, but 800 should round out the fund, and then we can move on. So yay. Spending, we are still in a low buy year for the whole year. $300 was the goal that I set for myself this year to for personal spending. I lost my words for a second. And I don't count experiences, and this is just straight up things I buy. Material items is what I'm trying to say. Experiences is something else, which I'm not counting in personal spending because I put my happiness and my getting to enjoy experiences on the back burner for far too long, and I'm not ever capping myself on that ever again. So this is just material items. However, there's that other category, and I just left that at 0. I don't know. I never know. I've been buying all sorts of concert tickets the last couple months, but therefore like the whole summer and into the fall. So I don't know that I'll be buying a ton more, but there's always shows that come up. So that's where I'm putting that stuff is, in the other for experiences and whatnot. Plus, again, might have to buy, no, I will be buying. And do you buy an HVAC unit? Yeah, I guess you do. Yep, just buying that whole new system for my rental property. I don't know how much that's going to cost. I don't think any of it will have to come immediately out of my paychecks in July, just because I've got a lot of cushion hanging around. Thank goodness. This is the first time in my life I've ever been able to say that, and only because I've been diligently budgeting and saving like nobody's business for years. So yes, it's a privilege, but it's a privilege that I've earned for myself. So I don't I don't think I'll have to take any money out of my paycheck to cover that. But again, we'll see what shakes out. I still haven't gotten the quote back yet for the full system. I don't know why they're being kind of slow, but whatever. Yeah, that's it for expenses. And as I mentioned, car insurance and cell phone are handled yearly. So my next category is my debt. I did update my student loan debt balance. It was $160,250.22. However, if you guys were, I don't know, what was that, 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago, I got that student loan refund that I had forgotten I requested back in the day. I don't even know when, but they gave me back the $25,150, whatever, $150 that I put towards my federal student loans during the pandemic. Got that back, which is interesting. So obviously my balance went back up by that amount. I will likely put the bulk of that money right back on it, but if I keep staring, the check is over there on my vision board. That's why I keep staring up there. Sorry. But if needed, I will pull money from that for the HVAC system because I'm happy to do that. That was my money. And yes, I paid it down my loans and then I got it back. So my balance went up. It's kind of stinky, but it's okay. It kind of like acted as a little bit of a savings account for a while, I guess. Whatever. Again, I'll probably put it all back on, but what was the point of that? I don't know. That's where the balance is at nowadays. I did set a goal arbitrarily for myself to save another 14,000 or pay another 14,000 on my student loans, but I just don't care. And prior to getting the student loan refund, I had another $29,070 saved to put towards my student loans when this forbearance ends. So that amount does not include that 25,000 from the refund, just because I don't know what I'm doing with it yet. So whatever. The student loans will get paid when the damn things get paid, okay? Like, I don't even care anymore. You guys know I'm so sick of student loans and talking about them and hearing about them, dealing with them. Okay. Sinking funds. So these are our savings buckets, right? Emergency fund, 10K. It's interesting. I realized that $10,000 is like my comfort level. I feel like everyone has a kind of a thermostat when it comes to their savings, right? What, 6 or 8 years ago, I would have been so flippin' happy and had such a huge peace of mind having $1,000 saved. That was my thermostat back then. Like, to have any amount of money saved would have been a miracle. And certainly, my income drastically changed in 2018 when I got my last job, and that thermostat kind of grew as I paid off a ton of shit that first couple years, and then was able to start really hammering on the student loans and bought a rental property and like trying to get myself financially set up. So I realized in that process, like 10K feels very comfortable for me. It's really silly to stack a bunch of cash before, on top of that, just because inflation is essentially just eating away at its value. So I don't like holding cash, even though, yes, currently these damn student loans have left my cash reserves in limbo, because it's like, I gotta hold on to it because I want to put it on my loans, but what are we doing with student loans? So just because everything's been up in the air with them, So 10K is my thermostat for an emergency fund, and that feels great. And I'm so flippin' happy that it's done, and it's been done for 2 or 3 months now. In large part, thank you to you guys. You guys are so amazing. And the same goes for like a car, vet, and medical slush fund, and of course my annual expenses. And so now here we are working on the fund. I would like to have 2,000 in that as well. We're at 810 as of Tuesday. You guys are amazing. Like, that is, what, 90% from you guys? Like, thank you guys so much. And then, of course, Roth. I've already explained how I feel about that. But we'll start hitting that a little bit once this fund is complete. But anywho, that's it. Oh, I forgot to mention, I took the massage off there. That was such a big mental health thing for me, self-care item when I was at my last job, just because I needed it. And I had no social life and I wasn't doing anything. And so like I had to have something to, I don't, it's not that I wouldn't make time for a massage nowadays. I just don't feel the urge to have one. I don't know. They're great and all, but it's not something I've gotten for a few months now. So it's obviously no longer a big monthly priority for me. So I just took it off. If I get one, I get one. If I don't, I don't. Probably won't. But anyway, that's all I got for July. I'm sorry about my voice. Thank you for bearing with me through that. I appreciate you guys so very much. Hopefully I'll have my June budget review. No, I will definitely have it out next week. So I'm intrigued to see how that grocery budget went. Which, by the way, stay tuned for more grocery and food related videos. I'm going to be throwing some oddball videos at you guys, just so you know. I'm experimenting and I'm having a good time. So I've got some ideas that are not always necessarily going to be hardcore financially related. So as I've said, I'm going to start sharing more personal things. So if you don't want to watch them, don't look. That's all I got though. Let me know, how does July look for you guys? How's your budget looking? How are we doing on our low buy year? I know I went over, and I'll talk about it again in the June budget review, but that air conditioner like totally blew my budget for June. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.